What is up, YouTube? I am sitting on my couch just reflecting on how wonderful this summertime has been and how grateful I am. I was really just thinking about the concept of gratitude and thinking about how important it is for us to be grateful on a daily basis because gratitude really transforms the way that you see the world, the way that you feel in the world. It can shift your moment to moment existence. Depending on whether you are mindful of the good things or not. Um, it's fascinating. Our mental health really functions kind of like on a moment to moment basis, and it really actually takes work for us to be grounded, to be joyful, to be happy, to be stable. It's not something that's going to come automatically. It's kind of like getting into shape. Like you're not going to get into shape by lying in bed. And you're not going to have good mental health just by uh, tuning into your automatic thoughts because our brain has a negativity bias. It's just how we uh, function in the world. Humans, we've been around for 300,000 years and we've depended on our negativity bias in order to keep us alive. So we've always had to look out for threats in our environment for us to stay safe. And we still have that hard wiring even though we live in the day and age of TikTok. We still have that negativity bias. That means if you have a negative social interaction, you're going to fixate on that more so than the 15 positive social interactions that you had prior to that. That means if you had a bad work day, you're going to fixate on that and you're not going to remember the 20 positive work days that you had prior. That's just how our brain works. So you constantly have to be working on your mental health. It's something that requires a day to day effort. And one of the ways that I make sure to always have good mental health is just by staying grateful over the little things. It can be anything, socks, um, anything ranging from like some tiny little minute thing all the way up to like having family members. Um, Things that I actually like to be grateful about, and something that I found myself being able to be grateful about is just having love in my childhood, having a loving childhood, and growing up in a household where there was love. Because this profoundly impacts the way that you see the world. It impacts the way that you function in relationships. It impacts the quality of your relationships. It impacts your happiness because our relationships are our happiness. Our friendships, our romantic relationships, our connections to others is our happiness. That is the number one thing. I think there's plenty of research to back this up that the quality of our relationships is actually the number one most um, the heaviest determinant of our happiness. So having love in childhood is one of those things where I think fortunately most people have experienced that. Of course there's lots of people who didn't, but it's something that most people don't really take the time to think about how the love in their childhood actually allowed them to become functional human beings and be successful or at least functional in this world. And every day I think about like what would have happened if I was in some way emotionally abandoned or rejected by my primary caregiver. Who could have I had become? And I didn't become that. And because I had love, I am now um, in my adult years, um, you know, financially stable, emotionally stable. I've reached a ton of goals. I've been successful in a couple different little things. And without that love, would have I had ever done any of those things? Would I be who I was today? And the answer is hell no. So that's one thing I can be grateful for, and especially someone who works with other people with severe trauma, psychological trauma. I've seen what happens when someone does not have love. in their childhood. And that has allowed me the ability to truly um, comprehend and feel, or so feel, um, how much an impact that having love in your early years is. Because you know, you can kind of sense it when someone was not loved in their childhood. You know, you may know a person, you may have known a person or two. But yeah, so I've been super grateful just for this summertime because it has been just a wonderful time. I've just been busier than ever, and there are things on the horizon, and there's already memories I have to look back on, and it's only June 16th. We still have it's not even technically summer yet, but it is. But technically, it's not even summer yet, which is gnarly. But yeah, guys, lots of things on the horizon. I'm going to Honduras. Um, I wanted to keep going on that, keep riffing on that concept of mental health, and I think I'm gonna make this a separate video. But I wanted to talk a little bit about it in this video, and that is the idea that words are chemical reactions. People oftentimes don't understand how powerful words are. You know, you hear that statement, you know, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Um, yeah, the fuck they will. And they can traumatize you. And they can low key kind of destroy your life. If you allow them to. If you allow them to. And words are truly chemical reactions. Socializing is not just like this philosophical fairy tale that happens between people. Socializing is actually like your brain releasing neurochemicals in someone else's brain releasing neurochemicals, and it's impacting the pathways, the cells of the brains, the neuronal pathways of the motherfucking brain. So words actually create physical changes in our brain when we say them to other people and when other people say them to us. So it's like it's something that is so beyond, I feel like, what people actually understand them to be. But every time you hear a message, there's like a neurochemical cascade of different events that happens in your brain that affects your emotional regions and the way that, and by that the way that you perceive the world, yourself, others. It's fascinating. And that's why I wanted to do a little spiel on words and how words are chemical reactions. uh, Words are physical. They're like a physical thing, man. So and they impact the way that you experience this life. So with that, spilled a little bit on gratitude, spilled a little bit on words. I want to make another video on core beliefs because I feel like core beliefs is really cool subject. And ever since being a therapist, I think one of the most profound lessons I have learned is actually that we possess core beliefs about ourselves, and oftentimes uh, we are not even very conscious about what those core beliefs are. They're kind of subconscious. They've been embedded in our system, you know, through our narrative. You know, we sometimes we like to think that we have an identity, but we more so kind of have a narrative of things that have happened in our life that shape the way that who we are. So it's it's through the core beliefs that I feel like the core beliefs is formed through the narrative. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the core beliefs and how that impacts the way that we socialize, the way that we connect, the way that we see others, the way that we regulate our emotions, the way all of these things, because it's truly fascinating stuff. So I can't wait to talk a little bit more about that. Um, but yeah, so remember, guys, a little exercise for you first thing in the morning. Do some gratitude, 10 things, 20 things that you're grateful for. Maybe some things you're looking forward to, some things that you're already grateful that you had gone to experience maybe in the past month or two. Um, and yeah, it's wonderful. It's all great. And hey, man, I'm glad I've been able to consistently upload on YouTube. I feel like it's kind of easy. What I've been doing is that instead of journaling, I just turn on the camera. And I'm just going to keep doing this because I feel that I think it's been like 2.5 months since I decided that I was finally going to turn on the camera and just start talking to it. And I have not regretted it. This is kind of therapeutic and I like it a lot. And it's something I can do whenever, wherever. And I think I think it's a skill to be able to talk to a camera for 10 minutes, 20 minutes at a time and just riff on a subject. And it's something that I want to keep doing and see if I can grow in this area. So with that, I'll finally leave y'all alone. If you made it this far, which nobody did, I love you until the end of the world and past the multiverse. Peace.